All right, new tonight at 6, 3 members of the Erie County Sheriff's Office are credited with saving not one, but 2 men at the Bills game back on January 2nd.
Their skills, quick action, and help from bystanders ensured the men are now on the road to recovery. Channel 2's Heather Lee talked with these heroes at Highmark Stadium about how it all unfolded.
On January 2nd, before the Bills beat the Falcons and clinched their 3rd consecutive playoff berth, there were some other odds at play at Highmark Stadium.
2 in one day, I do not recall an event like that.
2 men were in need of immediate medical attention, and lucky for them, 3 Erie County Sheriff's deputies were close by when the calls for help came across the radio. One first responder was Dr. Kevin McGee, Chief Medical Officer for the Sheriff's Office. He deploys with the SWAT team and Quick Response Force.
I was able to get my equipment, just run through the parking lot to be able to get to him quickly. So.
Talk about right place, right time.
Yeah, definitely right place, right time. And very lucky, obviously, where he was at, I was able to actually see him from my post, which made a big difference. So.
A man was in cardiac arrest, not breathing, and had no pulse. Bystanders had started CPR.
And I would credit them with a lot of the outcome because if you initiate care immediately, you start CPR, you give the patient the best chance of improvement.
Dr. McGee took over and used this AED, one of many new devices the Sheriff's Office got just last year.
Sort of an unassuming SUV, just jam-packed full of stuff that you hope you don't need. But if you need it, it's here.
Yeah, and that's actually, like I said before, that's the intention of this unit that we created, is that we're a little bit of law enforcement, but a little bit of medical, and we're always around. So.
Dr. McGee was assisted by Sergeant Chris Saluri, a deputy who was also cross-trained as a paramedic, along with members of the Orchard Park Fire Company.
We don't just scoop our patients up and run away. We want to stay and do good medicine. And so we did that as long as we could. And then once the patient was responding well, we were able to load him in the ambulance and go. And then I transported to the hospital with him just to kind of follow through with the patient's care.
Meanwhile, inside the stadium during the first half of the game, another call for help. A man was unresponsive, this time in a bathroom near Section 134.
There was a off-duty federal law enforcement officer who ended up catching the guy as he passed out.
Enter Reserve Deputy Aaron Binner. He's been with the Erie County Sheriff's Office just 8 months, but he's been a volunteer firefighter since he was 14. He's a certified EMT, became a CPR instructor 2 years ago, once worked for Mercy Flight, and is currently a medic in the New York National Guard.
So I got some training under my belt.
Just the guy you'd want around during an emergency like this one.
The off-duty federal agent did say that the man wasn't breathing. I came in, we both assisted with cutting off the man's clothes, getting to his chest, and I started CPR. We both changed out doing CPR until AMR arrived.
Deputy Binner says acting quickly makes all the difference, especially when CPR is involved.
Push hard, push fast in the center of the chest, right between the nipple line is, the hard plate, the sternum. Push hard, push fast until first responders arrive, and make sure you call 911 right away.
The man in the parking lot and the man inside the stadium were both taken to Mercy Hospital in South Buffalo. Both survived and are recovering.
Which is great to hear. We don't get to hear that side of the story a lot. As an emergency physician, I do see patients in critical times, and often I see them get admitted to the hospital and we don't get a lot of follow-up, but in this case I was actually informed of his outcome, so that's a great feeling. This one's kind of special because it was just proximity. I was in the right place, a lot of people were, we had great bystanders that helped out, so yeah, it feels pretty good to hear that someone went home and they're with their family and maybe even get to enjoy another Bills game sometime.
Both Dr. McGee and Reserve Deputy Binner say quick action and CPR made a big difference here. They're encouraging people to learn the life-saving technique because you never know when you might be that person who needs to step in. The American Heart Association has a list of upcoming courses and training sites near you. We've got a link with this story at WGRZ.com. Heather Lee, Channel 2 News.